doesn't look very pretty, but this is an old styrofoam head. And this is just the beginning of it. I just want to make it look scary. This is my model. So I ordered the wig. I'm gonna sculpt it even more. It's still soft, so I could still, when it's soft like this, you can play around with it without sticking to your fingers, because there's a little dried up layer that formed on top of the foam. And I highly recommend you do that while it's still a bit soft, because this is still going to increase in size. So I'm just squishing it and sculpting it. If you do too much, it'll go right through that layer and it's gonna stick to your finger and you might ruin it, just like but then again, ruining it just makes it look even more random. So I'm not too worried about that. And the thing about foam is that you can sculpt it later on with a hot knife. But this is gonna look cool once it's painted dark. It's like growth. And then the wig, and don't look at it now too much. There's not much to look at, but you have to have the vision. And the vision is to make it as scary as this. And foam won't be the only material that I'll be using. Pottery Supply House liquid latex. And this is from Canada. And you use latex with pieces of Kleenexes. And it gives it a little bit more texture. So this needs to be painted. I did this yesterday, and it just added additional layer and little skin, dangling skin effect that I like. You know, art is not completed, it is merely abandoned. And all of this will have to be abandoned coming this Halloween until it's taken over again after Halloween. Looks like a gorilla. My little shop of horrors. This is a new creation I started from an old skull made out of styrofoam. And the skull was really, really basic. I wish I had a picture of it so I could really complete the tutorial. But essentially the skull was obviously without all of this foam insulation, which I think I may have overdone a bit. So I might break off some pieces and patch them up like I've already done here. It was bulging out and I just tore it out and then added some cotton and Kleenexes with latex. But it was with square, it had square teeth and the mouth was closed. So I cut it with a foam cutter. Essentially, it's a heater, hot wire foam cutter. That's what I used. And I've completely did like a dental surgeon would do. I cut it completely. And this is the brand that I use, Ori. It's pretty good. It's for occasional use only. So I cut it completely. Then I held it, I opened it, I held it together with pieces of wire. hot glued it, and then put it to the opening that I wanted. As you can see, the teeth kind of stopped right there. No, actually they stopped right here. And then I added these teeth with essentially this covered in Kleenexes and soaked in latex, and then you just shove it in, which is super easy. So you're gonna say, well, Eric, if you did cut it, how did you get this back part here? Well, that's just padding I had. It's foam padding that I had that I glued on. And I initially just put it with, as you can see, tape. That's why this skull is not finished yet. But I'm not going to overdo the back anyways, because I'm planning to use creepy cloth right over it. You see the parts where I've cut. So this I need to patch up. And this is again done with Kleenexes. But what I wanted is to emphasize the, or what do you call it? Orbital rim of the eyes. Because that's my inspiration. And I've ordered the creepy cloth that will cover it. Oh, I realize I have to do the neck. So that's gonna be a fun part, to do the neck. Yeah, the neck really adds to it. And then I'm gonna do the hands, but everything else will be just a PVC frame. I'm not crazy about the shape of it, especially here. It kind of makes it look like a gorilla, like King Kong. And now I'm covering it up with Kleenexes and cotton. And what I do is I use just cheap Kleenex, generic brand Kleenex. But I separate the layers in two because it's a 2-layer Kleenex, but you just want one at a time. And then you kind of crumple it, tear it to pieces, and then apply with a sponge, totally randomly everywhere. And it's going to, and you see here I tried using thicker, thick paper towels, workshop towels. And it's actually good, but it's just not needed. It's not necessary. Because it's not like I have to hold together a structure with those cloth towels. And the way you do it with Kleenexes is that you wet your area first with latex liquid, and then you apply your Kleenex, and then you dab it with this as you go, and you try to create folds at the same time. And this is what I use. The Pottery Supply House from Oakville, Ontario. My monster would not be complete without proper hands. Doesn't look at all like my inspiration, but that's what it was. That's what it is, an inspiration. By the way, all the techniques used for the head regarding the Kleenexes, the cotton balls, and the latex and so on will be used for the hands and feet coming up on the part 2 of the video of the skeleton monster. So right now I will skip straight to the painting of the head. If you ever are worried about paint, don't. This may not be the best result. I like it. Everything's relative. No matter what, we are creating art. So I use, first of all, spray paint, black, inside, and a little bit all over the place. I try to go with the anatomy just to emphasize the deepness of the temples and so on. And in oil painting, that's what they teach you, is that you put your darkness first and then your light after. So that's what I did. I didn't paint it black all over the place. You could see still the color of the skin of the latex, which kind of presumed that it was decaying skin. So I liked the effect of it. I put 2 little dots of white inside of a Amazon eyeball, which I don't like because you see the pupil, which was, I guess, when they manufactured it, it was a separate piece of plastic, and the paint didn't quite go into the gap here, but it kind of gives it this hypnotic effect. And then what I did was I put brown, then red, and then I'm up to doing the tan part for the teeth because I didn't want the teeth to be completely black. So that's what I used here. And I used this just to really go over it very faint in a very subtle, not necessarily subtle way, but random way for sure. And this is just acrylic paint, except for this, which is paint in the can. And then the highlight of the teeth, I put my acrylic paint at the bottom of this little jar. And then I just want to make sure there's not too much of it. And then I just rub it on each teeth, you see, just to highlight. I find I could use maybe a little bit of brown, so I put a little bit of brown here. There you go. Maybe that's too brown, but you see what I mean. It's very simple. If you mess up, or if you don't like the result, and you just go over it. And the purpose is to give it that decaying look. Don't hesitate on putting highlights. Remember, for my stage, this is going to be Halloween. It's going to be dark. It's going to be nighttime. So whenever I want to put highlights on, like I like this, I've put a little bit of red, yes, but I like those details here. So in the darkness, you want to be able to highlight those so that they can see the details that you want to emphasize. I like what I did here with the latex Kleenex and the teeth. I want to make sure that they see the teeth. And then if I don't like it after, just go over it. So simple. I do have an airbrush. This is faster, and I use the airbrush when I want to go through a lot of detail. And just like Still Beast Studios, I want to inspire you to just go out there and do stuff, make stuff, right? Like he so eloquently mentions. And don't make it difficult or complicated. Do it simple. If you're at ease with and you want to have fun with it, it's your thing, man. It's your art. You do what you want. I just like to have, this is like so much fun to do. I got put too much here. I'm gonna rub it off a bit. And that's pretty much it. And once this dries, I'll be putting Mod Podge. I got a glossy Mod Podge, which is, it's like a varnish, just to make the specific parts really, really glossy. So it looks like spit and so on, but I'll get to that later. I just watched the screen of my phone as I was ending the video, and I noticed that this is the top. It's maybe a bit too red. It's always good to go back to it after a while, and then you'll say, what the hell did I just do? And then you redo it. One nice detail is you get yourself a paintbrush like this, and you put the brown paint, and you dilute it. And then you go like this, and you put little speckles. Because if you see from my Distortions Unlimited, which that's exactly what they've done in an obviously more advanced way, but that's what they did. And if you watch their video on YouTube, they kind of do that with their spray machine. But I use my paintbrush and I put like kind of age spots. So that's one trick. This tooth here is a bit too brown. Too white. I'm gonna brown it up a bit. I can just use my paintbrush. There you go. And then, you know, you can go like this and put some edge spot, some spots, but you can also use your paintbrush. Just make sure that it's very brittle, like those cheap paintbrushes are perfect for that, and you just go randomly. I doubt that anyone on Halloween will be coming this close to this prop because they're gonna be afraid. A little addition in my narration. Make sure you emphasize the teeth by painting with a very fine brush where the gums are, the limits of the gums. So the separation between the gums and each tooth, it just takes a few minutes to do it before you apply the Mod Podge, which you'll see later. Another day, another step forward to get... Today I am going to apply the hair on my head. And it's the first time that I'm doing this. Full inspiration from this amazing guy at, I think it's Twin Rot, something like that. I'll put the link right there on the screen and on the description because he does awesome work. But 100% his, the technique, and I'm gonna do my best to pay him tribute. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm working on my bench, which is my toolbox right next to me, and I'm getting my stuff ready. So I have those paper towels, workshop paper towels, because I've used this area so much for latex. It's covered in latex on my on that Saran wrap cover that I've put in to protect my my work bench. So what I have here ready is my latex, but I'm not going to need that right away. For now, I need my adhesive spray. I need my paintbrush, very rough paintbrush, and I need my scissors. I need my head and and also these hair extensions that I got from Amazon. So the way he does this, he recommends that you take part of it separately. Try to straighten it. So I'll grab it from here. These are the Amazon hair extensions I got. Cut the hair out. Put it aside. I had this lying around my workshop. Aylmer's. gets tacky pretty quickly. I may have put too much. One thing that he does mention, you have to be careful when applying the hair. Yeah, let me just put that down. And just make sure you're careful to apply the hair, but don't touch the head with the glue. So I might want to use a tool. Come over, let's do it. You don't want any glue on your fingers. You should comb the hair before doing this. And then what he does, yeah, I'm gonna have to clean my fingers before I handle any more pieces of hair. Low setting. Don't want to be too close because you'll be burning the hair. Handling the hair really gets super messy, super sticky. So make sure you clean your hands regularly. And once you finish with the heat gun, now you have to apply the latex. Again, I've used the Pottery Supply House latex. It's a relatively quick delivery, but as you can see, it really gets messy. So the latex will make sure that there'll be a good blending of the hair with the skull, and then you'll be able to put your second layer of hair higher up on top, and it's gonna look good. What I'm gonna do, I'll put the second layer on this side immediately. That's not how he does it, but I'm gonna be doing it. My hands are so sticky. This is not good. I know what I'm gonna do. Ta-da. Okay. This is so funny. Oh my God. Okay. Look at that. It's all over my hands. Yeah, don't worry about getting the most expensive brush. And I always use the same. These brushes are about $1.50 each, either at your hardware store or Amazon. So yeah, don't worry about using any fancy brushes for this type of work. I'll leave it like that for now. And it's a good thing I've got it's a good thing I have video proof that I'm working on a project. Otherwise, my spouse would say, Eric, who does that hot blonde hair belong to? Because Michelle's a brunette. So I want to see how it is. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to let it rest because I may find out a little later what I know what I've done wrong, but I may realize that this is not holding up, that it's a big mess, that whatever. So I'm just gonna let it do my other duties, and come back to this later. I guess I have to I have to believe in the process, or believe in the ultimate vision, because right now it feels like I'm just brought my monster to have, you know, hair coloring at the salon. So what I intend to do, obviously, I can't wait actually. I really seriously can't wait, because I can't stand seeing it like that, although it does feel like, I should say her. Can't wait to have that black paint all over this hair. If I would have known it would have turned out this way, I would have probably ordered a darker color so that I could just put highlights. But my goal, ultimate goal, my vision is to make it look like this. So right now it just looks goofy. Why did I have to follow the vein there? Anyways, can always be removed. Okay, I've turned the head upside down outside to paint it. I've removed some of the hair here, and I think it looks pretty good. And she just needs to be, or he just, I think it's a she, needs to be a little coiffed. And if you wonder what's wrong with her mouth, there's nothing wrong with her mouth or nose. I'm actually using Mod Podge, which is a product to give it a layer of shine. So it's like putting varnish on your products without, on your craft, without ruining it, you know, without using varnish or anything like that. So again, I had this available, and just like white glue, it goes on white, and when it dries up, it's clear. And be careful when you order it, because this is the gloss one, because there is a satin one. Satin means satin means matte. So you can apply generously, but if you do apply generously, just be patient, because it does take time to dry. So you want to apply it where you want to emphasize the areas that are supposed to be wet. I guess at the bottom of the eyes, like this. And again, it's not white paint, it's like white glue. Let's make the nose drip a bit. I like it. I like the product. This is at least not the first time I use it, so I'm not freaking out. The hair is in a way. You know, I have the Mod Podge available. If I wouldn't have it, I wouldn't come out of my way to go buy it. if you do a lot of craft and you have epoxy, oh yeah, I should do some, you know what, I really want that extra shine on the eyes, so I will do epoxy on those eyes. When this dries up. So you don't want to put it all over the place, just where in the areas that you personally think that it should shine. So I hope you enjoyed the process. Again, all the use of the Kleenexes, the latex, and the cotton rolls will be shown on the next video, part 2 with the hands and feet. So please it really helps to like and subscribe in order for me to grow with the channel. Thanks a lot.